What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And this is my rambling series, this is my vlogging series in which I just turn on the camera and talk to you guys. I try to do no edits and I try to get it done all in one take. And I just talk about life, the universe, things around us, things that are particularly interesting to me. And today I want to talk a little bit about anxiety, depression, mental illness, physical illness, that kind of stuff. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the self-discovery I've been going through over the past couple of weeks. And I think I'm probably going to title this video a particular phrase, that it's okay not to be okay, which is a phrase that has been really interesting to me lately. And I want to talk a little bit about the self-discovery that I've been going through. First off, quick update for the weight loss. As you guys know, I stalled a lot during February and part of March. Now that we're into April, though, towards the end of March, I started losing weight again. I lost a good 10 pounds since the last of March. It looks like if I really push it, I will probably continue to lose between 7 to 13 pounds a week. Hopefully an average of about 10 pounds, 10 pounds a month throughout the duration of the next year or so. And if I do that, I will get to the goal weight that I want. That currently has me clocking in at 375 as of this morning at both my home scale and my doctor's office scale. They're finally in unison, which is kind of cool. I did buy a new scale. I don't know what the older one would have said. But it's nice actually weighing that weight. It puts me at below my high school weight for the first time since 1992. I weighed 380 pounds or so when I graduated high school. Pretty crazy stuff. There was one period of time when I moved to Fayetteville and I was really exercising. I didn't have a car and I was walking every day, 3 or 4 miles a day. I did manage to get down to, I think, about 325. So I guess it's not entirely true because there was a good 3 or 4 month period that I lost 50 pounds and then put that 50 pounds right back on when I injured my back, and then another 150, another 200 on top of that. But really nice place to be. And I'm especially satisfied knowing that my lymphedema is still an issue, so some of that is water weight. I'm happy with the fact knowing that a lot of it's still loose skin and stuff. But I'll tell you, when I did that video earlier this week, if you didn't see it, I did a review of Ready Player One and invited 2 of my friends over to do that. And when I saw myself on the screen, and as you guys saw me in that thumbnail, I think a lot of you really just began to realize my friend Ellis is not a big guy. He's a very small guy, you know, in terms of like obesity. And he certainly, I did not look that much. I mean, but those guys are very fit, healthy guys. And I was so surprised at how good I looked next to him. Now, I guess, again, if you see my lower body, there's all that loose skin and all that extra stuff there. I'm never going to be a pretty boy. I'm never going to look good naked. Even after surgery, then there's going to be scars and everything else. And I won't get all of the surgery. I'll only get the necessary stuff, none of the cosmetic stuff. But I'm very, very pleased with my weight loss. I'm getting real tired of doctors. I keep fighting off infections as I always have. Ended up going to the doctor today to test my hearing and to look at my ear, nose, and throat because of the dizziness that I've been having. And it looks like as part of the weight loss, some of the, I don't know, you said there's rocks in the ear because of the dehydration issues and everything else. Some of those rocks may have come loose in one part of the ear, and that may be causing some of the dizziness stuff. And as I've known for a while, you know, I'm 43 now, and right about the age of 40 to 50, people start to have some damage to their hearings. For the most part, my hearing is still pretty good. I've got about a 20% hearing loss on some of the lower frequency scales, and in one ear, I've got about a 50% hearing loss at a very, very high frequency. Not a frequency I think you hear very frequently, though. So that's a good frequency, frequently. It's little stuff like that. But it's so amazing because I'm getting healthier day by day. About a month back, something popped in my back, and it was excruciating for a couple of days, and then a little bit better for a week, and then a little bit better the next week. And right now, my back is still at like a 5 or 6 in pain, but better than it's been in years. And I'm able to walk more, and able to move more, and able to do more, and able to carry more. I almost feel like it popped right back into place. Anyway, long story short, health is getting better. I'm off half the medications. The diabetes is gone. The lymphedema is getting better. My legs are smaller than they've ever been. Slowly but surely, I'm undoing a large portion of the damage that I did to my body with this weight loss, with the surgery, with the work that comes with it. And I'm very pleased with it. I guess I will probably never be a healthy person, especially because I did all that damage. I'm turning 44 not too far from now. It's a damn miracle I lived this long. It's a damn miracle I've achieved what I've achieved. Next on the list is, of course, the teeth, because I'm still dealing with frequent infections and issues along that lines. But to bring it back to the topic of the video, I want to talk about the fact that it's okay to not be okay. Now, I have spent a lifetime self-medicating. And I will be honest, most of my family members did as well. I have always used food as my medication of choice, though, and clearly I'm glad that I stuck with that rather than alcohol like my father did or pain pills like my mother did. Fortunately, I'm very pleased that what I used as my medication of choice was video games, distraction, the internet, and food. Those are my ways of self-destructing and distracting myself from not feeling okay. And I think I had a bit of a breakthrough the other day. I think the breakthrough is it's okay to not be okay. I have spent an entire life trying to avoid all of the bad feelings that are in my head, all of the bad feelings that are in my heart, and trying to deal with the leftover artifacts from the child abuse and the sexual abuse. It's one of the reasons I'm a man child. It's why I have this nice big shelf of Pokemon toys, and I talk about video games, and I play video games, and I have the maturity level of a 15-year-old kid and when it comes to certain aspects of my life, because my growth was very much stunted by the desire to run away from that, hide from that stuff, and just not deal with that stuff. And I have used video games and food and recently some other habits, which were not great habits, hopefully replacing them with healthier habits like exercise and work and things along that lines, recovery, therapy, stuff like that. But I've done all of that to self-medicate. And I think, based on all the television shows I've watched about addicts, probably Rescue Me, which you can find on Netflix, is one of my favorite shows, really stands out. The fact that big part of self-discovery is accepting that you're going to have to be not okay for a while, and that accepting the fact that you are in fact not okay. And I have to, deal with I've always dealt with the fact that I've been physically ill. To the point that I think some people even think I might be a bit of a hypochondriac, which I've seen that rumor floating around again. My medical charts disagree, but that's fine. But I am super paranoid. I'm super paranoid about getting sick. I'm super paranoid about dying. I'm super paranoid about getting cancer. I'm super paranoid about after having skin cancer once on the tip of my nose. I'm terrified of it. I'm terrified of ticks because of Lyme disease. I guess there's some truth to that. But I'm also very sick on top of that. So it's a kind of a trade-off. If I ever get healthy, I'll probably still be really worried about it all the time. But I've always been good about taking care of my physical health in regards of obviously still eating like an idiot and still trying to kill myself, but not wanting to be sick and miserable because of it and trying to deal with my lymphedema and keeping my legs up and keeping my legs wrapped and seeing the doctor very frequently and taking care of those things. But when it came to my mental health, I did therapy to some extent. I didn't do enough therapy. I should have done more, and I should have worked harder in that therapy. But I certainly should not have been distracting myself with self-destructive behaviors. I shouldn't have been diving into this stuff, putting off the work. And I said to a friend I made the other day, I said, "You're telling me you're miserable right now." And they said, "Yeah, I'm miserable." So I'm like, why don't you do the work then? Because you say you don't like doing the work because it makes you miserable, but you're saying you're already miserable. So why not just go ahead and do the work that makes you miserable in the hopes that tomorrow will be a less miserable day, or the day after, the day after, the day after. If you're already miserable, rather than try to distract yourself, rather than just try to pass the time, rather than just ignore the world and not try to achieve instead, because look, you're going to be miserable whether you're working or just sitting on your ass or whatever it is you do to self-medicate or to pass the time or to self-heal. So just do the work while you're miserable. And then tomorrow, when you're mentally ready, when you're emotionally ready, maybe your world won't be as miserable. And I realize that's advice I need to take for myself. Now, I've always done it when it comes to stuff like, right now, the physical health and cutting back on the foods and doing this stuff like that, on taking walks and putting myself into physical pain. But I never really done it with the mental pain. I've never really walked up to my mental pain and just hugged it and said, you know what? I'm going to be miserable for a while, and I'm going to process this, and I'm just going to deal with it, and damn the consequences, and damn the rest of the world, and screw video games, and screw hanging out with my friends, and screw eating like an idiot, and screw all of these self-help techniques and things that I use to just try to survive, and instead focus on just getting better. And I've been told by several therapists that I'm looking at 2 or 3 years recovery time from a divorce like I just had. I don't have that kind of time. So I got to do the work. I got to do the work. I have to accept the fact that it's okay to not be okay, that it's okay to be unhappy for a while. The fact that it's just going to happen one way or the other. And I can delay the inevitable and do the work when I finally break down, when everything falls apart. Well, maybe if I start eating like an idiot again and gain the weight back, maybe I can deal with it after I'm fat again. Maybe I can do it after I've driven my career, my job here into the ground and nobody wants to watch me anymore. Maybe then I'll work on it. Or how about I work on it now? How about I just take a few hours every day while I'm already miserable and make myself more miserable and do the work? And then when I'm ready, emotionally and mentally, maybe my life will be better. And my life right now is spectacular. To be entirely honest with you, I'm very happy with my life. I've got a very good support structure, a lot of friends, got the dog, got the house, got the family, got the job here that I love so much. I've got the fans, I've got the fellow creators. I've got so much wonderful stuff in my life, Externally, my life is pretty spectacular. Physically, my life is getting better. Mentally, emotionally, yeah, I've been a train wreck for long time. I was going to say for the last 6 to 8 months, since me and my wife agreed to separate and stuff like that, but long before that. And I think it's time to do the work. So that's where my mind is at right now. I hope that I'm able to stay true to this. I'm hoping I'm able to do it. It will probably once again involve sometimes not wanting to be on YouTube and not wanting to stream and not wanting to do the things that I need to do, but or that I want to do and that you guys want me to do. But it will mean hopefully a better, healthier, happier me. And if you're in the same boat, if you're going through the same thing, I hope there's some advice in this for you, because this rambling series is almost always for me as much as it is for you to go back and look at and think about these things and try to remember these things and focus on these things and just know that this is the world that I live in and this is the brain that I have and this is the stuff that needs doing and how to do it. So hopefully if you've learned something from it too, then it's a dual-edged sword and that's a good thing to have. So keep in mind, it's okay to not to be okay. But you should use that opportunity to make your life better. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.